Today's a great day in the market. I rolled two trades and we are watching these trades just go deeper and deeper and deeper in the money, which was the plan, right? We sit in cash, we don't F up our portfolio. And then when we see the trades come through, then it's time to execute. You're watching trades being executed in real time. Now, here's the great thing about this, Joe, right? When somebody watches the replay of this, they're going to Monday morning quarterback this and be like, see, I told you it wouldn't go up there. But in the moment of what's happening right now, we don't get to see the right hand side of the screen until we upgrade to the Nancy Pelosi plan. Until that's available to the public, all we can do is go with our plan, look at what has been given to us, and trade based on those rules. So we're going to go through those rules today, right now, here in the OVTLYR Trading Room invitation only live stream. This is where we help you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already and you're watching the replays. Currently, we are in Plan M. Plan M is a go right now. And listen, if you want normal returns, this is not for you. But if you want outlier returns, you're in the right place. So Joe did some rolling today. I'm really proud of Joe. But before we look to add any new trades, we need to look to reduce risk. Joe, tell me about these trades that you rolled today. I'm very curious to see what you were up to.
Well, I had an opportunity to have some charts up on a spare monitor today, and I was able to see when some of my trades had hit the half ATR, and I even had one or two hit the one ATR.
Ooh.
So I took the opportunity to trade midday on those, which is to say, I rolled them, which means I found a contract that had an extrinsic value I was willing to pay, and traded from one strike to another strike in. I don't know if I traded expiration dates on any of them, but definitely moved strikes. So sometimes you get lucky and you can catch those midday if it's something your lifestyle allows you to do. Otherwise, if you're a one a day trader, sometimes you'll miss them, sometimes you'll hit them, but just stick to your plan.
I think that's really good points, Joe. And I'm going to go through all nine that I have on right now. Some of these Joe has already rolled, and looking at them right now, which is the time of day that I would trade, I actually wouldn't roll, and that's okay because Joe has his own plan. He's following it. I have my own plan. I'm following it, and you have your own plan, and hopefully you're following it, and you're not panic selling or panic buying or FOMOing or anything like that. Let's start alphabetical order with Zion. This is sorted alphabetically, right? No, of course not. This is called a joke. Come on, guys. I know I got an itty bitty baby brain, but I at least know Zion is not the beginning of the alphabet. It's like halfway through. So looking at this, see, that's another joke too, Joe. That's another joke.
Well done.
Thank you. All right, we're looking here at Zion, and so we put Zion on at 53.74. It took a couple days. Now it's moved up a bit, and now talking about the rolling point right there, we need to reduce risk before adding any new trades. So looking at Zion, we're going to look for number one, any exit signals. Number two, any rolling opportunities. So first, let's look at our exit signals. Any sell signals? In fact, let me pop open OVTLYR because that'll make things a lot easier. I'm going to drop Joe and I off, and you can see I have all of mine listed as favorites, so I can very quickly glance and see, oh, you know what? No sell signals, so I don't have to do any more research on any sell signals. We'll look for 10-20 bearish cross. We'll look for some order blocks because we might have those. There's no earnings on any of these, so we don't have to worry about it. None of them have gapped up 5% and they're crapping down. None of that's happening. So, and then none of them are hitting our 2 ATR or 3 ATR stops. So really all we're looking for, Joe, is any 10-20 crosses or any order blocks being hit. See, when you have a plan, you can very quickly say, I'm looking for this and that's it. I don't have to spend all day doing this. Save time is our key aspect here. Save time, make money, start winning with less risk. Okay. So let's continue winning with less risk. We're going to go into Zion, and there is no order block up ahead. Remember, we're only checking these two things. Okay. No order blocks up ahead. No stress. The 10/20 is still crossed over bullishly. No stress, which means, therefore, I don't have a reason to close. Do I have a reason to roll? Let's take a look. Okay. So in our plan, Plan M, which has the back tested data, and here you'll see here that on average, the average losing trade goes up 0.6 ATR. The average winning trade goes up sometime in its life cycle 3 ATRs, meaning, like I said earlier, we don't know what the right hand side of the chart is going to look like, but we do know one thing. If it has moved up half an ATR, we can take advantage of that right now and reduce some risk. So let's look at reducing risk. How do we roll? How do we roll? I got a slide for this. I'll explain this once and we'll go through it. At each profitable ATR, starting with a half ATR, if the stock moves in your direction, can you roll up and out for a credit? If yes, you would sell to close the original position, buy to open closer to the money with the same number of contracts with the same liquidity standards. Okay. That's a key point. What do the liquidity standards look like? For me personally, in my trading plan, this is what we see. Starting at 21 days to expiration, give or take, we can move closer or further away based on liquidity. I'm going to see at least 250 open interest, less than 50-cent bid ask spread, with a 30% absolute max extrinsic value, and generally around the 80 delta call. So we're going to go into Zion, and we're going to see, can we roll Zion? Now, these are the positions that we have on. Let's go to roll. And this is actually pretty handy because now I can go to options grid and I can go to Zion. And we can see the order already being built down here. We're going to drop off so you guys can see that easier. The order down here. So we're in the 50 strike in January. Okay. In the 50 strike. So I'd be looking to sell to close this one, buy to open closer to the money. Okay. So moving from the 50 to the 52. Lots of liquidity here. I like that. What about our extrinsic value? $1.63 on 390. 1.63 over 390 is 41%. So this one I will not roll. It has too much extrinsic value. Joe, did you roll this one earlier in your account?
If I wasn't muted. Yes, I did roll Zion earlier today. Yep.
Now, again, Joe didn't do anything wrong. It just doesn't fit my rules. Joe rolled it earlier in the day when it had better extrinsic value and it fit his rules. So Joe did a fantastic job. Golf clap to Joe. Golf clap to Joe.
That's right. Yeah, and like I said, it's not every lifestyle will give you the ability to do that.
Right.
And sometimes I just don't feel like staring at charts, so I'd only trade one a day anyway. But sometimes it hits and you can get it. Just quickly, the extrinsic value. You just take the extrinsic value on the options chain and divide it by the ask price. That's all you're doing to get that. So
That's it.
you're looking for ideally below 20% and at absolute most 30%.
There you go. Perfect. Now, the reason we want it to be low is this value will decay over time, right? We don't want that value, right? We want to maximize our intrinsic value. The deeper in the money it goes, we're starting with a leveraged investment that already is valuable, and we're trying to make that leveraged investment more valuable with this trading plan. This is not a YOLO call. This is not a lottery ticket. This is a valuable leveraged investment trying to make it more valuable. That makes sense? Okay, cool. All right, so there's nothing else to do on Zion, so I don't have to come back to this. Let's go to SYF. SYF looking beautiful as well. This is what it's like when you have a back-tested plan playing out in real time. We don't know where this is going to end up. I don't have any expectations on where it's going to end up. I'm just going to follow my exit strategy, which is waiting for it to load. There it goes. Just waiting for my exit strategies, which are, where is that at? Come on, there we go. 1020 bearish cross or a outlier block being hit. Remember, we covered everything else. 1020 is still bullish. No outlier blocks overhead. Cool. Can we roll SYF? All right, let's go to SYF. So we go to the portfolio. We go to SYF. We can see we're in the 12/19/75 calls. Let's go over here. SYF. By the way, Mahesh sent the $50,000 to not OVTLYR, to Tradier today. Probably in a couple days or so, the wire will have come through, and I will have real money that we'll be trading in the OVTLYR fund in the US Investing Championship starting on January 1st. I'm not going to do any trades in there until January 1st. So we start at a clean 50,000. I am so stoked about this. Also, I'll be making some sort of video or at least screenshots on how to register for the US Investing Championship because we want you to participate as well. My goal in the US Investing Championship is not only to win, but to see how many outliers we can get to outperform me and my account. Oh my gosh, that would be so sick. But the criteria here is we need to see you and the organization, the OVTLYR organization, and tied to it. Okay. If you don't put your name as an outlier on there, you don't get to participate as part of this this group. I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate it. I want to win, but I would really prefer if another outlier beat me. That would be so sick. That would be so cool. That would be, I mean, Joe, could you imagine another place online who actually trades rather than saying $75 in this stock and you'll be a millionaire? Who actually is going to put their money where their mouth is and actually is calling out the entire world of YouTube finance influencers saying, put your money where your mouth is, let's see who wins. That's the plan. That's the plan. And in the plan, there's going to be a lot of waiting like we had to do until we get the plan set up. So we are in SYF, and I talked so long I forgot which strike. SYF 75 calls on 1219 here. Okay, so looking to see if we can roll from 75 up to 77 and a half. We don't have any other strikes to choose from. And to do that, it would be a buck 37 in extrinsic on 370. Let's calculate that again. 137, 370 is 37%. Again, another one that I'm not going to roll because the extrinsic value is too high at this time. And that's okay. I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed at all. I'm going to follow my plan. Extrinsic is too high. Mighty Mouse nailed it. All right. So let's go to the next one. New. All right. Looking at new. Remember, all we're looking for right now is 1020 bearish cross or any outlier blocks being hit. That is not the case here. I don't have to do anything. I know it's not above. Actually, we rolled new yesterday. We took in a credit on that one. And, you know, it's totally fine to do what it's going to do because I don't have to do anything. So easy. Jeff. Jeff, I think I did roll, didn't I? Hold on. Let me look at my activity. I did roll Jeff. We're going to roll Jeff right now. So Jeff, the 1020 is still bullish, right? No outlier blocks overhead. Earlier, when I looked to roll, it was right at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that here in the account that is live. Let's go to Jeff here. We're going to roll. We got to go back to options grid and we got to type Jeff back in. We're in the 52s. Let's drop off here. We're in the 52s, rolling in the same expiration in this case. Not to the 52, because that would be literally doing nothing. We'd be looking to roll from the 52s to the 55s. So change this to the 55. So it's one order, selling to close the original trade, opening closer to the money. Now, again, let's do the calculation here. Lots of open interest. All is great. Extrinsic value, $1.11 on 420 is 26%. I'm great with that. I have no issue there. Our credit price is around $2. Let's just pop this down to 195. See if we can get filled. If it actually gets filled, let's see. No, not filled yet. Let's go to orders. This is open. Let's click it. Let's pop it down to 190. Replace. Still not filled. Let's pop it down to 185. Replace. Still not filled. And that's okay. Understand that this is normal. This is totally normal. You're not losing money here because okay, so we're filled here. Same number of contracts. The option that we just rolled to, the 55, still has all that value. Still has all that value. Mark got it for $2, and that's okay. That's okay. In this case, it got filled at 180. Joe, did you post in the Discord my actual trade that I put on just a little bit ago?
I sure did.
Joe is a rock star because he's doing this. So earlier today, I rolled it for $2 credit, the 52.5 to the 55. Very cool. All right. So now we're done with Jeff. We've already rolled it. All is good. Let's go to IVZ. Okay. No 1020 cross. Makes it simple. There is an order block up here. And from our entry point, that was 4.5% or so away, which is great because I want to see 2% or more. So no issues there. Right now, it's not doing much of anything, and that's okay. So I don't have any reason to close. Joe, how freeing is it? How freeing is it to look at the chart within 5 seconds, be like, okay, nothing to do?
It really is freeing. When I first started this, before I met OVTLYR, it was okay. What on earth? How do you even figure out what stock could potentially go up? Right? I didn't know what sectors were. I didn't know what it meant to even figure out what the market was doing. Right? And to have a plan at this stage, something I can base my own lifestyle on and my ability to trade is just fantastic. It's so freeing knowing that once I open the chart, I'm gonna know what needs to be done And once I open Outlier, I'm gonna know what the market's doing. I'm gonna know what the sectors are doing. There's no guessing anymore. The hardest thing is getting in the options chain and
Mm,
using the calculator. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. And to that point, Joe, this is what it's like to be a fund manager, right? When you take this as a professional job seriously, you know what you're going to do. You're walking into work and you're doing the work, and then you're walking out. That's it. It's
Mhm.
not all sexiness that people want to put, right? It's not screaming at each other in the boiler rooms. It's not the Wolf of Wall Street. It's not every social media honestly probably fake trading guru who sells their course for $12,000 a quarter. Um it's none of that. It's literally walking into your day job, executing the day job, going back home.
That's right. That's right.
That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to be complicated, and it certainly isn't sexy. It's supposed to be boring like this. Let's go
There's
to
there's a
HBAN.
lot there's a lot of questions, about the order blocks and such, and if you wanna follow the same order blocks Chris is using, just go to Discord,
Mm,
go to the FAQ and member contribution section, and, you'll see that Deep Thought has placed in a specific order block indicator, which eventually will be a feature in his, what do you call it? His
and this
grand
big
indicator.
indicator. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but for right now, that's the indicator that you see Chris using. But honestly, you don't have to use that. If your plan is to use a different one, just be consistent. Don't go back and forth because
Mhm.
it's like having four thermometers. They're all going to say a different temperature. You got to pick one. You got to go with it. You got to stick with it.
That's a really good point, Joe. Right. And the reason that we did make this switch is because when I put in Deep Thoughts order blocks and I was trading on it earlier this week, there were some that were identified in his script that were not in the script I've been using for years. And then there were some in my script that weren't in his. And so I was like, Deep Thought, we have a divergence here. I need to be consistent, like Joe's saying here. I only want to see using the script that I've been using for years. And so Deep Thought's making some tweaks into his big indicator here. But we don't want to leave you out in the cold. The exact order block that I see right here can be in your trading view account using this exact script. That's it. Super easy. All you got to do is click it. It's going to pop this open. You just add it to your favorites. You come over here to your indicators, you go to your favorites, and it's going to be right there. Order blocks outlier. It's that easy. And then you'll see exactly what I have. Okay. So thank you, Joe, for pointing that out. Now we'll see HBAN right here. Ooh, hang on. Talking about order blocks. This is perfect timing, Joe, my friend. Hit or close an outlier block. That's 120 days old. Well, there's an outlier block right there. But this one, as measured according to TradingView, is 61 calendar days old. 120 calendar days. This one is only 61. Now, why? Through our back testing, we found that if it's less than in this particular plan, every plan's a little bit different. In this particular plan, less than 120 calendar days can be ignored. Now, think of the reasoning behind this. The people who bought this in HBAN in October 2nd, they're pretty pissed that it went down, but they're also pretty happy that it's coming right back up, right? It's only from October to now, we're in December, that they've been holding it. Now they're looking to break even. Okay, cool. I'm not so stressed. However, if it were 120 calendar days old, looking at this situation, they may be like, dude, I've been holding this for like months at this point. I got to get out. There's a difference in psychology of what the investors are going to be doing at these different levels here. So I don't have to worry about this one. We're going to ignore this one. Now, can it come up and get rejected at that? Absolutely, that can happen. We don't know what the outcome will be. But looking at HBAN, man, what a beautiful trade. What a gorgeous trade this is, Joe. Put it on here, 1642. It's running up. It's at 1702. How much is this up on the stock? 3.5%. That translates to, and I love this about options. That 3.5% translates to a 40% gain. A 40% gain on the options. Yeah. You wonder why Chris trades options? That's why. The stock goes up 3.5%. My account goes up 40%. I don't know which one I choose. I think I'll go with that one. I think I'd rather save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. That's why I do what I do. Okay. Looking at this, we don't have the cross. The order block we're going to ignore. Let's talk about rolling. This has moved quite a lot. Can we roll HBAN? Let's go look. I believe this could be okay. We do have HBAN. HBAN 16 calls in December. So let's go to HBAN. Simmer 19. There we go. Okay, 16 calls. Now, could we roll it to the 17? Absolutely. There's nobody sitting in your office, in your car, in your wherever you are right now telling you, yeah, you can do it. You need to make this choice for yourself. If we were to roll from the 16 to the 17, we could take in a potential credit of 75 cents. That's great. However, notice over here, this is tons of liquidity, which is awesome. 30 cents of extrinsic on 35 cents of the ask price. Yeah, as Joe is pointing out right there with a big old thumbs down. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. No. We're not giving up our intrinsic value here just for the sake of rolling. So even though it's past the half, even though it's past the one, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. You could call that a phantom roll. You can do whatever you want, but I'm not going to do anything on it. Let's go to ally. Let's go to ally. This one, the 10's still over 20. Outlier block is still 5% away, so nothing to do. HTGC, another huge move. Now, here's what I was trying to say earlier. I put this on yesterday. I don't know why it's not here. HTGC. I do not know why it's not here. For record keeping sake, I'm going to put it on today. I'm not encouraging anyone, and listen, I'm being serious at this point. I am not encouraging anyone to put this trade on at this point because it's already had a huge move, right? You could be looking to roll at this point here, but again, we would run into an issue with the extrinsic value because which strike am I actually in? And again, I don't know why it's not there. I swear to you, I don't know. I'm in the 17s now. So if I were to roll from the 17s to the 18s, 17 cents on 90, it's actually not that bad. 17 cents, 17 by 90, 18%. Wait a minute, why wouldn't I do that? Did I not do that? Maybe I need to do it. Hang on. HTGC. Hold on just a quick minute here. We might have to do this live. From the 17 to the 18, 17 cents of extrinsic value, 963 open interest. In December? Oh, no, we're in January. That's what it is. Okay, January. There we are. Okay. So rolling from the 17 to the 18 in January, 39 cents on 110. That's a bit more. 39 or over 110 is 35%. That's why I didn't roll it. Now, I don't remember why I picked this one over that one yesterday. You can go watch the replays are on YouTube. Receipts are on YouTube. You can all go check. But we're gonna do it right now. Who just said that? F it. We'll do it live. Exactly.
But also
No.
the other reason you wouldn't do this if it was in your portfolio right now is because Plan M doesn't have entries today. So if you were following Plan M specifically, today would not be a time to buy this.
That's right. That is exactly right. It is not a day to buy this. But because I love you so much, I want to make sure that I keep my words. We're going to make sure that this gets filled today because it should have got filled yesterday. We're going to buy 117 contracts. Yesterday was less. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like 108. But let's go buy 117 of these. And we're in the 17 strike in January. And let's see if we can get filled at 192. Let me send it. Okay, this is not filled. This is not filled. Let's go to orders. Open. Status open. Click it. All you gotta do is penny it up. Joe, why am I not concerned about pennying it up?
Well, because it could run on you and you could never ever get your fill and then you'd be
Boom.
out.
Exactly. If you don't take the trade when you see it set up because you're trying to be a cheap ass, when you're trying to be a miser and save, oh, I don't want to spend an extra couple dollars. And then it goes on, and that potentially could have been tens of thousands of dollars. You're going to be a pretty sad boy. 90.9% of our audience is men. You're going to be a pretty sad boy.
Yeah, especially because this Plan M historically shows you'll be in the trade for quite a while. So you want to take them when you can get them.
Yeah, exactly. So now we are actually in HTGC. Again, this is not a new trade recommendation. This should have been put on yesterday. All right. No stress there. Sorry, I had some ice in my mouth. I had to spit that out. Professional YouTuber at work. HTGC. Looking at this, and we already discussed we wouldn't be able to roll. So let's move on to LC. LC, another one I put on yesterday. Looking beautiful. Again, I don't know why it's not there. Yesterday, I got into the LC, hold tight, LC January 17 calls. All right, let's go to January 17 calls on LC. I love being able to actually do this live without the stress. This is great. Okay, January 17 calls. And then how many do I need to get? 47. I even remember yesterday that I had to pull down the number of my order because it was too many. That's so weird. Okay. Anyways, looking at this, January 17 calls. In fact, if you want to see what I did yesterday in the Discord, Joe put this out there. LC, January 17 calls. Yeah, or 16 calls. Wait a minute. Oh, I rolled that one, didn't I? I did roll it. That's why I see the 17s in my account. Okay. So I need to actually get the 17s and not the 16s. So let's go do that instead. Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So yesterday I got the 16s. I actually took a roll on this earlier. Joe, did you post the roll?
I did.
You did. Okay, cool. So I just need to pick up the 17s is all. Okay. And 47 of those, wasn't it? Yeah. And we're going to double check before we jump off here to make sure that everything is there. 47 calls, January 17s. Now let's just see if we can get filled here. Ah, okay. Rejected. And that's okay. Don't stress. Don't freak out. That just means we have too many. Okay. All you got to do, go to your portfolio. Because I did this yesterday. I don't know why it's not there. Go to your portfolio and go to the hell's it at? Account view? Account. There you go. Buying power. 8511. So if this option is at 228, I have 8511 in this account. Divided by 1,000 or 100 means I can get 37 contracts, not 47. So watch me change this to 37. Hit send. All right, not rejected. It's trying to get filled. Let's go to trading orders. You'll see it's still open. Let's pin this up. Did it go? Looking down here to see if it went. Did not go. Let's hit the go button. What is happening? Okay, let's do that again. Am I a crazy person, Joe? What am I missing here? Let's cancel. Maybe it's because it's taking it over our margin availability. Let's do 36 at 235. There we go. Phil. I bet that's what it was. Rather than showing rejected, it just wasn't doing anything. Okay. So we actually got filled at 235 on the 17s. Okay. So now my real portfolio matches what's here. HTGC and LC are both there. So we're good. We're good. Okay. Now we've gone through and we have worked on reducing risk. Now, did that take a while? It did, mostly because I am a YouTuber and I had to talk my way through the whole plan. But let's look to see if there are any new trades. Because actually, because of our rolling, you may have some availability in your account. This one doesn't, and that's okay. Let's go back over to here.
Lots
Because
of questions about rolling at a closer date. So instead of January, rolling into December. Do you ever do that?
so starting in January and then moving to December,
Right.
I'll be frank with you. You could. I don't see a reason why, but you could. I mean, nobody's going to stop you if you're able to do it for a credit. Sure. Honestly, I don't see a good reason not to. How's that for an answer? I mean, if you want to do it, by all means, you could. But that's not normally how I trade. Is that a decent answer?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Good.
Trade your plan.
Totally could. Okay. So next, we need to look on the Plan M plan. Okay. So we have a SPY with a bullish trend. Let's go double check that. Going to SPY. We can see the bullish trend, 10 over 20, price over 50. Okay, cool. Buy signal in place in outlier. Right there, still a buy signal. Let's pop into it real quick. The fear and greed heat map is under 70 and rising on the market. That's the important part. On the market, we see the fear and greed at 55.96 and it is rising. Next, full stocks breadth. We're going to go see if we still have bullish breadth. And looking over here, all the sectors have bullish breadth with the exception of utilities. And yes, we do have bullish breadth. All right, on to the next step. We're moving into the sector now. What I see right here, and we don't have to go any further, is the outlier channels. What this is measuring is how many uptrends versus downtrends we see, okay? So we have been getting more and more uptrends, which is why this is lighting up green. I'm gonna drop off comments for a minute. That's why this is lighting up green. Less and less downtrends. That's why this is lighting up red. But as of today, we're not getting more uptrends, but we're also not getting more or less downtrends. So our market score here on the outlier channel is 0. We need to see a market score of at least 1. If it's a market score of 1, and then we see the same in the sectors, then we're interested in that sector. If we see a market score of 2, all sectors are on the board at that point. So that means to us, there is no entry for Plan M today, as if it were new. Like I said, I did not put on those 2 trades on purpose today. That's really more of just a record keeping for you guys watching on the live stream. So we can't put any new trades on in Plan M, but we could look at Plan ETF, right? Maybe you want to trade Plan ETF. Let's go to Plan ETF. Uptrend in SPY and Q is in place. Oh, there we go. Had enough too. Uptrend in both of these are in place. Both of these have buy signals. The Qs and the SPY both have a heat map under 70 and rising. So all this is true. Are both of them in the value zone? Well, let's go take a look. What is the value zone? The value zone is 2 ATR values from the 20 EMA. Now, this is also a free indicator inside of Outlier, and Outlier is literally 82 cents a day. I mean, I cannot believe the unbelievable value we give you for 82 cents a day. Do me a favor in the comments, tell me how many years of Outlier you just paid for in one day. How many decades of Outlier did you pay for with one day? And this is why we have plans and why we execute plans. How many decades of Outlier did you just pay for in one day? We are within the value zone on SPY. We are within the value zone of Qs, so we're good. Okay, all is good so far. Order blocks greater than 2% away. Now, we talked earlier about the order blocks being 120 days old. These are, we need to see a cap of 30 days old. On the Qs, this order block is 30, where's that at? 36 days old. A lifetime, 25 years. I love it. 13 years from Brian. Doug says 12 years. Carol says 44 years. Surfing Bird, a lifetime. Yeah, exactly. That is why we love pricing Outlier at what it is. It is unbelievably inexpensive. It is unbelievably inexpensive for what the value is for you, right? 12 years. That's far too much math. A lot of years, at least a decade, 3 years, 14 years, lifetime, 25 years. I love it. Outstanding work. Now, you didn't hear from me. You're hearing it from Manny, who said Luca. I don't know what that means. I know Luca's his grandbaby, but I don't know what he means by that. 100+ years from DeHammer, 2 decades worth, 30 years worth, 250 dog years. There you go. Exactly. So getting back into Plan ETF, which all of this PowerPoint is included in our Discord. We actually do see order blocks within 2% on both of these. This is now 0.96 away, and it's greater than 30 days old on Qs. Let's go to SPY. This one is, come on, clicky. There we go. 36 days old, and we're kissing it now. So because of that, Plan ETF is off the table. Plan ETF, if you were to put on a new trade, Plan ETF is off the table. So Joe, that's going to wrap all the work that we needed to do today. And that was quite a lot of work, right? We rolled 2, we went through our entire portfolio looking for anything that we need to do. We, for transparency's sake, put on those 2 that for some reason weren't there yesterday. And let's triple check that they're still there. And then Joe has saved a bunch of questions you guys asked in the chat. I'm going to answer as many as I can. There's LC and HTGC right there. Okay, let's see. Hey, by the way, this account's up over $3,000. That's 10 years of OVTLYR just right there on these trades. How's that sound? 10 years of OVTLYR just right there. All right, let's see how many questions I can get through. So OVTLYR McDuck. On your plan, if an option reaches its roll point early in the day and pulls back, do you still roll it? Okay, so like let's say if it wicks up into it and comes back down, really I'm looking for the end of day. But like Joe did earlier, Joe followed his plan and he was watching it during the day and he's like, you know what? I hit the rolling point. I'm gonna roll it now. So you've got to determine for you what works best. For me, I'm trading at the end of the day. I got other stuff that I want to do, right? Setting up your lifestyle around or setting your trading up around your lifestyle. So for me, I didn't roll the same contract that Joe was looking at, and he did roll. He didn't do anything wrong. He did his plan, and I'm proud of him for that. Mr. B, Mr. Burns, Mr. What's his first name? In The Simpsons, what's Mr. Burns' first name? Monty Burns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Monty Burns, Mr. Monty Burns 2040 says, I went in a plan in with 10K. He's up 7.2% with one roll. That's not normal. Joe, that's not normal to be up like that. No way, dude. Mr. Y-Stan says, spies breaking through resistance and our picks are already in the money. How outstanding is that? How cool is that? I mean, some of these, like looking at my account over here, 40% up on HBAN, 27% up on HTGC, 20% up on SYF, 10% up on Zion, 6.8% on Jeff after the roll. Huge numbers over here. Mikey the Yank says, I don't want to roll to a 60 or 70 delta. I get it, and that's okay, right? We talked, through some of that right now. Or earlier we talked through some of that, and that's okay, right? Come up with your plan, your criterias, and as you saw, I didn't roll, even though I could have. I chose not to because it didn't fit my plan.
So the delta really just gets you in the ballpark of where the extrinsic may be palatable. So
Yeah.
that's why Chris looks at the 80 and then he starts looking at the extrinsic specifically. So yeah, sometimes you'll not see a 60 delta with an extrinsic less than 30%. So you're exactly right. It's expensive to get into the 60s and 50s.
That's right. Exactly. Well said, Joe. Mr. Hardcastle says, rolling question on platforms that do not have a roll option. What do? Close the trade? Joe, you have this issue, right?
I did. Yes. What I had to do was I had to pick the contract that I was interested in. I had to record my quantities on paper, for instance, or Excel or whatever. And then I had to sell. So, sell to close. And then I had to buy to open the same quantity and keep track that, the slippage wasn't too bad, that the extrinsic didn't move too much. It's not as nice as like Thinkorswim and Tradier where you can roll for a credit. And that's the other thing. I had to calculate my credits, which means filling out the position portfolio manager is a little different when you're not shown what the credit is. It's a little extra step. So what did I do? Change brokers.
I was going to say, what do you do in that situation, Joe? When you have to do all that extra work? But what are you going to do? Well, if you got a broker that's not going to allow you to do what you want to do, if you got a bank that's not going to allow what you got to do, right? You got to change. You got to deal with it, right? Mm-hmm. I understand that these are high class problems. I get it. These are wonderful high class problems. Let's keep going here. Do I have any concern about rolling to a lower delta like 70 or less? No, because I'm still keeping the trade on. It's going to be what it's going to be, right? I'm just allowing myself to take less risk in the trade and keep the trade on at the same time. Linda Paul Helmstetter, a girl? I didn't roll SYF because the extrinsic is too high. Was that a good decision? Well, I didn't roll it either. So, I mean, and I know you guys get tired of me saying, well, what was your plan? But honestly, Linda, if it's too high for you, then that's fine. As long as that's in your plan. I wouldn't rate it a good or bad decision. I would say if it's part of your plan, then you made the decision that goes in part of your plan. If it's not part of your plan, then I would follow the decision that's in your plan. And if you don't have a decision in your plan, now's the time. Now's the time. Say, hey, you know what? I hadn't come to this before because this is happening 100 times, Joe. 100 times where I think I know everything I'm going to do in my plan, and then something happens. And it's like, oh, okay, that's a first. I don't remember the last time I did that. Maybe it was trying to think. I think it's my midday emergency exits on in fact, let's go to that slide. I think it's my midday emergency exits on order blocks, which still are in place, by the way. It was one of these things where it's like, you know what? I ran into a situation where it hit an order block and then gets smushed by the end of the day. And I was like, I'm never going to let that happen again. So if it's running through the order block all day, I'll hold that bad boy. If it gets smushed by the order block, I'm out. So that was one of those things that happened where, Linda, that's a great example for you. Maybe that happened where it's like, okay, I recognize something that was not in my plan and I needed to make plans for. Therefore, I create a new rule and now I have to think about it again. How much is that plan? I don't know. I think it's like 82 cents a day or something crazy like that. Do we exclude the plans the same? Alex, how much have you been drinking? Alexis Jack, do we exclude this plans the same way, like whey protein, if I'm turning shures? I'm just giving you a hard time, Alexis. He's probably driving, which is an even worse reason to text. Okay, my friend. You do you. If you want to trade shares versus options, by all means, trade the shares. Everything that we do can be done in shares or can be done in options, except for the rolling part. You can't do that in shares. Nate, we all know, has been drinking all day long, even though he's saying hit the like button. Nate is drunk off his ass right now. I got to meet Nate in real life twice, so I can say that. If the daily candle wicked to your half ATR, but it's now 30 cents away, can I roll for the 195 credit? Sure. I mean, there's nothing that says it must be at a certain point to roll, right? Let's go to these guys. And let me turn off the value zone here.
Right. Speaking of the value zone, if someone didn't have it and they want it, just go to Discord, go to the FAQ and member contributions section, and look for the trading view section. And in there, you will find lots of great indicators,
including the value zone right there. Yep. Okay, so for example, he's talking about SYF, right? It clipped up through that point today. It's come back down. Could you still roll it now? For sure. But just know you're not going to get the pricing that you would have had at that point in time during the day. At that point in time, you would have had a lot favorable pricing than you would today. Okay, so we answered that question. Andrew, when rolling, would it be advantageous to use the 15-minute settings on trading view instead of the 1 day? Again, up to you.
I'll say though, I did that and I made some trade changes based on the wrong candle. So if you're going to switch to a different period, don't act like you're following your plan based on daily candles, because it's easy to make that mistake. You want to be consistent.
That's a really good point, Joe. Right? If you change this up to something else and you didn't realize that it was on, the 5-minute, 15-minute, whatever candles, and you look at this and you're like, oh my goodness, what is happening? Why is my stock getting absolutely monkey hammered? Oh, wait a minute. It's totally fine on the daily chart, right? It can lead you to make decisions like Joe's saying that you probably wouldn't have made otherwise. Tony says, do you set your stops to ATRs from the roll price? Okay, so it's a good question here, Tony. I'm not changing my stop out points. These are set at entry and they do not change. That's not the one I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. These are set at entry and they don't change. Good question though. But then again, Tony, you can do something different. By all means. A girl! Y'all be cool, all right? There's a girl here. Only 9.1% of our audience is girls. Y'all be cool. Michelle's here. There is no extrinsic value column in Moo. Would that be theta? Maybe, maybe not. Extrinsic value includes not just theta, but it includes vega. It includes rho. But theta is included in that. There could be another Greek or two in there. The answer to that question is, if you don't have extrinsic value, do try to get it. If you can't get it, here's how you calculate it. And it's not fun. Extrinsic value is actually pretty simple to get to. You take the price of the stock, 1866. You subtract the strike price you're looking at, $17. that gives you your intrinsic value. Wow, it's almost like I know what I'm talking about. The difference between this and your ask price actually going to be the mid, so it's going to show right there. But let's just say 235 minus what you just calculate as your intrinsic value, which is the price you can pay for it, going to get you 69 cents, which is right in line with that extrinsic value. Again, it's a lot of work. I don't want to deal with that. I just want it to be a column. So your theta is part of this, but there's also other components that go into this. So that's the answer there. Now, Joe, if she can't get extrinsic value, what should she do?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Dumb Joe, you're a professional YouTuber. If you can't get the extrinsic value and you want it, I mean, honestly, the answer is to get a new broker. I know that sucks, and I'm definitely not saying you got to go get this broker. I do not care what broker you use. Find a broker that's easy to use. That's the real key here. It doesn't matter to me what it is. Can we talk about how to use the ATR indicator? Michelle with another question here. Okay, so indicators. This one is in the technicals average true range. Now, if you just type in ATR, you're going to find a million ATR indicators from the community. You don't want any of those. You want to go to the technicals and you want to search average true range. There it is right there. Okay, that's the one you're looking for. Now, I use the default 14 period settings on this right here. And if you're using the deep thought indicator plus ATR, that's going to fill in your 2 free slots. If you're using the deep thought indicator and the value zone, that's going to fill in your 2 free slots. I get it. So of course you're gonna, if you only have the free plan, I understand. You're gonna have to bounce between different indicators to show on there. But most of the time, you don't need it. You can just like, boom, it goes away. I learned this, Joe. If you double click the screen, it shows up and disappears. Ooh, super fancy.
Mhm.
All right. Do we move up the stop loss during the trade? If you choose to, in my trading plan right here, the stop loss is exactly what it is, a stop loss. The trailing stop is this crossover. Okay. 2 different things. Mikey, the Yank says, I'm stressed. What in the wide world of sports is going on right now? This live stuff is confusing. Sorry, dude.
I'd
NA?
recommend going to the Outlier Training with Joe channel and watching the training videos. And
Oh,
yeah, and
YouTube
you
channel.
that's right.
Let's go to it. Let's go to
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Let's see.
Outlier Training
OVT.
with Joe.
Hang on. OVTLYR training with Joe. All right. By the way,
There.
Jensen Huang, I believe is his name, was on the Joe Rogan podcast today. Currently listening to that. He's the CEO of NVIDIA. I think that's going to be a great one. But look at this. Outlier training with Joe. Got
So we have
all kinds of videos on here.
we have a playlist specifically for training. So if we click playlist, yeah, all the way on the right, we have Outlier Training, and there's multiple videos in there. And each video has timestamps. So if you're looking for a specific section in the video, it's called out in the description. You can just click the URL and you can learn about that section.
Let's look
You'll
at the
also
timestamps.
You'll also find that in Discord, in the training room chat, that I will put specific videos and timestamps for you to check out for topics that maybe Chris talked about that morning, or topics that someone is asking about, and kind of give you some direction on where to find your answer.
There you go. And to Joe's point over here, going to the training. Where's the training?
Training room
Training
chat.
room right there. Yeah,
Mhm.
there you go. Joe's all over it. Joe is trying to help you be successful. That is the plan. That is the plan to help you guys be successful. Joe, let's answer just a couple more and let's get out of here. No plan A, because it's the same sector. Why did we go away from the half ATR stop? Because the expectancy was way lower than actually following this plan. And I don't know. Joe, I'm the one guy who bought NVIDIA and the one guy who bought SoFi who lost money. All right. So NVIDIA, I don't remember when I bought NVIDIA, but I can tell you that I got stopped out on a stupid little down move or something right around here. And then it rocketed later, right? It had the outlier move later. And I got stopped out from the freaking half ATR. So I was actually glad to see that go. It was a really, really tight stop. It didn't need to be so tight.
It
Why
was
is my trader ask me for limit on both trades? Why is my trader different? It asked me for limit price on both trades. I have no idea. I'm sorry. maybe reach out to Tradier support. Um, how do you set up the Tradier options to show the extrinsic, intrinsic, and delta? Okay, that's a good question. Maybe that's what he meant. There's a setting. I think it's here. Grid orientation, grid format. It's one of these lightning bolt settings somewhere. Maybe it's in the settings here. I think if I go into that, it's going to give you like everything: my bank account number, my social security number. Hang on. Option grid. Yeah. So you go into settings. You go into settings down here, and then you can add in whatever columns you like, and it literally translates to these guys right here. There you go. There's the Yule one. You'll see I've got bid, ask, delta, open interest, intrinsic, extrinsic. There you go. Good question though. Mikey Mike, the market maker, says my broker just rejected a roll on USB. Why would that happen? Maybe because your strike was too high. I'm sorry, the credit was too high. For example, if you tried to roll that 50-cent credit for 51 cents, rejected. There's no way they're going to do it. You can't outsmart the brokers. They understand that this is a 50-cent spread going from A to B. They're never going to let you get it for more than 50 cents or even 50 cents. It's going to have to be 49 or less. That could be what could be it. Michelle again in the Discord. How do we get the value zone indicator? Oh, we showed that. You just go into Discord and you go to FAQ and member contributions. You go to trading view, and you'll see you scroll up a smidge to value zone. There you go. All right. If I could only study this stuff somewhere, do you have any school or classes that we could take? Maybe there's some sort of university training that we could go to. Joe, what school did you go to again? I forget. Did somebody say OVTLYR University?
Are you ready? Let's go!
Respect is earned. Respect is never given.
That's right. OVTLYR University is live right now. We're in the Bravo class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The cost of it is $0. $0. And we're going to teach you literally everything that I possibly know about trading in the markets over 16 years. And all that we ask is that you watch it, you become successful. And then when you become successful, you're an outlier. How's that sound? Now the classes right now, we're working on creating your own trading plan. The homework yesterday, which I'm excited to see on Thursday, is what are some rules to put in your trading plan. I'm not going to just spoon feed you everything, right? There are people who charge $12,000 a quarter. We're not even close to what we give away absolutely for free in OVTLYR University. Now, 50% of you are going to listen. It's going to go in one ear and out the other. 25% of you are going to listen. You're going to mess things up. You're going to come back and you're going to be like, Joe made me sell my SoFi shares. And Chris did too. I get it. You're going to screw things up. But I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to be in the other 25% who are going to listen, put in the plan, create generational wealth in the process. And we do this 100% for free because we want you to be successful. So, Joe, let's get out of here, my friend. We've covered so much today. Thank you so much for hanging with me. You are a rock star, especially in a shirt like that, right? Coming up into Christmas. Joe, you got to show off the shirt. Show off the shirt. There we go. The Sparky's Tree Farm. Yes. I'm so stoked that you're on board with the ugly Christmas shirts / sweaters. I heard that we're having a special guest tomorrow morning. Who serves up justice.
Oh, nice.
Justice. I'm just saying, special guest on tomorrow morning's live stream. It's going to be amazing.
Exciting.
Joe, if someone were looking to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, what do you think they should do?
Subscribe to OVTLYR for 82 cents a day, and then watch some of these videos to learn more.
Joe, I absolutely love how you just like unapologetically say, subscribe to OVTLYR. That's the right answer. Click one of these two videos and have a fantastic day.